In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Microsoft of .NET Framework class library. There are about 13,000 classes in the ASP.NET framework, and the reason why is because Microsoft has, the Microsoft developers, they have made our life easier by building all these classes to make development easier. So the ASP.NET, you need to realize that it has two parts. The two most important parts of the framework is the class library, the framework class library, and the common language runtime, which I'm going to be talking about it too. For example, let me show you what I mean by classes, in case you don't know what classes are. So let me go to one of these code base. For example, even the page itself is a class. You can see that we declare a class which is a partial class of the page. So page is a class, and button, I can declare a button class. As can you see that button? Then it's a btn equals to new dem button. So it's been a long time I've declared a class, so I'm not sure if that's correct. Let me see. Yeah, that's fine. So since we didn't get an error, that's the way you declare it. So button itself is a class, and the reason why we have classes is because, remember, we're going to be needing buttons in our application. So if we have to create a button ourselves all the time, then I think that's headache. So we can easily use the button class. So that means since I've created a new instance of a button, because this is doing is creating the new instance of a button. So now I can access the methods. I can access the method of the button. I can say button dot. I can say button.text. So I can set the property and methods of a button as such. So we get this. I told you I always forget the names for this thing. It's called the IntelliSense. We get this IntelliSense, which gives us the a quick access to the class methods and class methods and properties. So there are thousands and thousands, about 13,000 classes that are available in ASP.NET framework, which you can use to build classes. Some of these classes include the file class, which allow you to create application where you can use the class to check to see if there's a file, check a file on your hard drive. There's also classes that has to do with graphic class, which you can use to work with images. So you can use those classes to draw diagrams like circles and images and stuff. There is another class, very important class, SMTP class, that you can use to send email. So all these classes, they've been provided by Microsoft in order to, so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just, like this, like as you can see here now, I needed a button, so I just created a button. So I don't have to know the code to create the button and draw a button on the page, because all I have to do is just call the class. And because we have so many classes, so Microsoft has arranged these classes to they've placed all the classes in what is called a namespace. So for example, all the things that you're looking at the top here, they are all namespaces. What happened is, because we have so many classes, I don't know how to give you an example, but if you look at a car itself, everything has been arranged in under the hood of the, so the hood itself is a namespace, because everything that makes the car moves, all the electronics and all the mechanical stuff, everything has been packed together and placed inside a package which is under your hood. So that's one. So for example, like this link, like the data namespace now, which you import, this one contains all the classes, all the data classes. For example, let's see how to import more classes. All these things, if you don't know how to use them now, don't worry, I'll show you. Using system, if you press the dot button, you see all the classes that you, all the namespaces that you have. We have the threading. Do you know the threading? This is got to do with when you want to create an application that can use the threading classes. And the threading classes, how do I explain this? You know, when your application actually do more than one stuff at a time. Okay, we have the timer class, we have the security class, the runtime. Let me see what one that you must be. IO. This IO class is the one that is got to do with file. The IO is input and output, so you can save file on your hard drive. You can also draw file out of your file system. You have the drawing class, the drawing namespace. Collection. The collection is got to do with all the maps, which I hope we get to in most of these videos. So that's how you get to the namespaces. So I'm gonna delete that because I don't need any namespace. So there are 3 ways to add a namespace, and this is one of the example. You can use that one to add a namespace to your application. Also, you can use the page directive that I showed you earlier on. Here you can add a namespace by doing and say, I'll show you. You use the import. If you use the import, and you can just say namespace equals to for example, remember, maybe we need the you can say system dot net dot mail. So that's our namespace that we imported. So we can either use this on this page, which is going to be particularly for that page, or we can go to the code behind file and using the same, you can use this one. Or if you want a namespace for every of your pages, then you can add it to the what's called the web configuration file. The web configuration file has a special place where you can add your let me find it. It's supposed to be the namespace system.web. Under the system.web system. Okay, where is it? Okay, under the system.web we can add yes, we can add the namespace like so. You can say pages, then inside the pages we had namespace. As you can see, we get in the so now inside here you can say add, you see, then the namespace that you need, namespace, we get the IntelliSense. So now you had your name, it's just like we did in last. You can just say system.net.mail. So now you do not need, every time you need to send email from any of your pages, you do not need to add this namespace anymore, because it's now already been added to the web.configuration file. So any of your pages will be able to access this namespace from now on. I might not have explained this thing properly. If you think I haven't, if you drop me an email or a comment on the blog, then I'll explain better. Thank you.